With the biggest story of the day, and that is the news that DeWanna Bonner is no longer with the Indiana Fever. It was reported last night that DeWanna Bonner had no intentions on returning to the Indiana Fever, and then the news broke today that the Indiana Fever had indeed.
Dana Bonner thought she could just walk away from the Indiana Fever mid-season and waltz onto any team she wanted. But reality just hit her like a freight train. Teams across the WNBA are refusing to go near her like she's radioactive after watching her abandon her teammates when they needed her most. That kind of move doesn't go unnoticed, and the karma? It's hitting hard right now. Do you think Dana Bonner deserves to be blacklisted after what she did? Because what we're witnessing might be one of the most satisfying cases of instant karma in WNBA history. Bonner turned her back on the Indiana Fever. She walked out on Caitlin Clark and the rest of the squad, thinking she'd be flooded with offers from other teams. Well, guess what? Reality just served her a cold, brutal dish of consequences, and honestly, it's absolutely delicious to watch.
Statement. She said, "I want to sincerely thank the Indiana Fever for the opportunity to be part of the Fever franchise. Despite our shared goals and excitement heading into the season, I felt the fit did not work out, and I appreciate the organization's willingness to grant my request to move on, particularly at this point in my career. I wish the Fever great success as they continue to build around this dynamic group of young players."
What makes this whole situation even more embarrassing for Dana Bonner? She didn't just quit the Fever, waived her. That means any team in the WNBA could have claimed her off waivers and taken her contract, no questions asked. She would have gotten her full salary, every penny of that $200,000. But guess what? Not a single team wanted her. They all passed. That's not just rejection, that's a message. Loud and clear.
If another team claims her off the waivers, she gets her full salary. She gets her full salary if another team claims her off the waiver.
That's a lot of money in the WNBA. You'd think teams would be eager to pick up a veteran with championship experience, right? Wrong. Not a single front office took the bait. That tells you everything you need to know about how badly she burned her bridges.
I think that makes DeWanna Bonner look really, really bad. It makes DB look really, really bad. And it's the fact that she has told all other teams, other than the Mercury, don't sign her.
Bonner has reportedly told every single team in the league, except the Phoenix Mercury, not to even bother trying to sign her. She's acting like she's a superstar free agent who gets to pick and choose where she lands, when in reality, she's damaged goods that nobody wants. She's pulling a full-on Ben Simmons sitting out, demanding a trade to just one specific team and pretending she holds all the power, completely ignoring the fact that she's under contract. The audacity is breathtaking. She signed with Indiana, took the money, soaked up the spotlight alongside the biggest story in women's basketball, posed on magazine covers, played in front of sold-out crowds, and the moment things didn't go exactly her way, she walked out. Now she thinks she can dictate terms to the entire league? Unbelievable.
And look, I understand that's where she wants to go. Why didn't she go there in the summer? We know why, because she couldn't have got her max contract. And by the way, people are like, oh, they can give her the minimum. No, they can't. The Phoenix Mercury can give her a prorated $80,000 salary for the rest of the year. So she's only going to lose about 30K-ish. And she's going to lose about 40, 50K. Whereas they would have been only able to sign her earlier on. Well, they would only be able to sign her for nothing. Because again, we can't forget as well, the Phoenix Mercury cut Sev Uzun. The Phoenix Mercury have a bunch of players signed on hardships and a bunch of players that they can cut. Like they literally cap space magicked up. And as soon as cap space magics up for the Indiana or for the Phoenix Mercury.
But here's where it gets really embarrassing for Dana Bonner, the one team she's actually trying to force. Her way to the Phoenix Mercury reportedly isn't even sure they want her anymore. Let that sink in. She burned every bridge in Indiana to clear a path to Phoenix, And now Phoenix is looking at this situation like, do we really want someone who just walks out when things get tough? And honestly, can you blame them? The Mercury are playing solid basketball with a young core that's fully bought into the system. They're winning with role players who actually want to be there, players who fight for their teammates and don't bail when adversity hits. So why would they risk that chemistry for someone who's already proven she's unreliable? Let's talk about the business disaster this has become. If any team had claimed Bonner off waivers, she would have walked away with her full $200,000 salary. But because she's reportedly refusing to play for anyone other than Phoenix, she'll likely end up signing for a paraded veteran minimum around $80,000. She's literally costing herself over $100,000 just to force her way onto one specific team. That's not empowerment. That's delusion. And it's not just fans noticing. GMs and coaches around the league are watching this play out and asking the same question. If she quit on Indiana midseason, what's to stop her from quitting on us? That's not the kind of rep you want in a league with only 144 roster spots. This whole mess makes Bonner look short-sighted and selfish. If Phoenix was her dream destination, why didn't she just sign there in free agency? Everyone knew she had ties to Alyssa Thomas. Everyone knew she wanted to be there. And yet, she chose Indiana for the money, for the exposure, for the headlines that came with playing next to Caitlin Clark. Then when things didn't go her way, she bailed. Now she wants to have it both ways. Take Indiana's money and spotlight. Then force her way to Phoenix? That's not how professional sports work. And it's definitely not how you earn the trust of an organization or your teammates. The worst part? This isn't just about Bonner, it's about the impact she's had on the young players she left behind. Players like Caitlin Clark were looking up to Bonner. Clark was excited to build chemistry. You could see it in preseason the way she worked to connect with Bonner on and off the court. And now? She's been sent the clearest possible message from someone she admired. I don't want to play with you. That kind of betrayal hits hard. It probably even explains some of Clark's recent struggles. For the first time in her career, she's experiencing what it feels like to be abandoned by a veteran she looked up to. People have drawn comparisons to Jimmy Butler's exit from Philadelphia, and they're not wrong. But at least Butler was still playing at a superstar level. Bonner is 36, clearly on the decline, and yet she's acting like she has the leverage of a prime MVP candidate. The Ben Simmons comparison also fits. Like Simmons, Bonner is sitting out, under contract, demanding a move. But even Simmons had youth and theoretical upside. Bonner? She just proved to the whole league that she's willing to walk when things get uncomfortable. And let's be honest, her complaints about Indiana? Completely overblown. She was a starter. She was getting minutes. She was featured in the offense. The team struggled, yes. But that's no reason to bail on your teammates midseason. The fact that she told teams not to claim her off waivers shows how entitled she's become. She genuinely believed she could control the entire process till the league, where she'd go, how much she'd get paid, and when it would happen. Well, reality had other plans. Teams are now treating Bonner like she's toxic. No GM wants to bring in a player who just walked out on her team when things got tough. That's a cancer to team culture. It sets a dangerous precedent. And the Mercury's hesitation? That says it all. Even they aren't sure she's worth the risk. They'd have to cut someone to make room. Disrupt a good thing they've got going. Bring in a 36-year-old who just made headlines for quitting. For what? A few veteran minutes and chemistry drama? It's not worth it. Financially, this is a catastrophe for Bonner. She's throwing away six figures just to chase a move she probably could have had legitimately later. If she had just been patient and professional, she may have ended up in Phoenix anyway. Instead, she chose chaos. And the worst part? This all went down right when Caitlin Clark was returning from injury. That's when the Fever needed leadership the most. Instead of stepping up, Bonner walked away. The media's silence on all this is frustrating, but predictable. WNBA media protects its stars even when they're in the wrong. But fans? Fans see it for what it is. A veteran player selfishly abandoning her team midseason. If this sets a precedent that players can just quit and demand a move whenever they feel like it, why should anyone honor their contracts? Why should teams bother building culture, chemistry, and trust? Bonner's legacy is now stained. Instead of being remembered as a respected vet, she's going to be remembered as the one who quit on Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. She's acting like she's above the league. Like contracts don't matter. Like her personal preferences outweigh her professional responsibilities. And the silence from other veteran players? Deafening. Usually, when a player gets treated unfairly, their peers rally. But in this case, crickets. That tells you exactly how this move is being viewed inside locker rooms across the league. Any team that signs Bonner now risks sending the wrong message to its roster. That quitting is fine. That commitments are optional. That loyalty only matters when it's convenient, and it's not like Bonner is still in her prime. She's on the decline. Bringing her in means taking a massive cultural gamble for a minimal basketball return. This entire situation is a masterclass in how not to handle professional frustration. Instead of communicating with coaches, working through challenges, or even honoring her deal until the offseason, Bonner went nuclear. And the karma? It's perfect. She tried to manipulate the league, tried to strong-arm her way to Phoenix, and now the one team she wants doesn't even want her back. What's even more pathetic is how she's trying to spin this as a basketball decision. Everyone knows this is about her relationship with Alyssa Thomas. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be close to your partner, but don't lie about it, and don't betray your team to make it happen. The timing of her exit, right when Phoenix is. Cap space opened up, makes this all look suspiciously premeditated. Take Indiana's money, soak up the Clark spotlight, then force a move when the Mercury can afford you? That's not just unprofessional. That's borderline fraudulent. If Bonner loved the game, if she respected her team, if she valued her legacy, she would have honored her contract and stayed the course. Instead, she chose self-interest over everything. And now, she's radioactive. This is a turning point for how teams evaluate veteran character. Everyone's watching to see how the league handles this, because if Bonner gets rewarded for this behavior, who's next? What stops another player from doing the same? The WNBA is still building its brand. It cannot afford stars treating contracts like suggestions. This league runs on trust, professionalism, and example setting. Bonner's supporters can try to spin this however they want, but the truth is obvious. This wasn't business. This wasn't leadership. This was a tantrum, and she's paying the price in dollars and reputation. Even Phoenix is hesitant. That's how toxic this situation has become. Ironically, she probably would have ended up there eventually, if she'd just waited. Now she's burned bridges with Indiana, alienated the rest of the league, and may not even get the one thing she sacrificed everything for. The Fever look foolish for trusting her. The young players are learning all the wrong lessons. And Caitlin Clark? She's been nothing but professional, showing up every night and trying to lead despite the drama. That's real leadership, Bonner thought. She could quit on her team and still have the league begging to sign her. Reality just reminded her how professional sports actually work. Sometimes, karma shows up right on time.